Hey Russell fam, in today's video we're going to do a mid-year evaluation on our 6th grade curriculum. Be back in just a second. Hi, my name is Becky and welcome to our Russell's Loving Life YouTube channel. I am a homeschooling mom of 2 and I have been homeschooling since 2012. Here on this channel, we talk about homeschooling, homemaking, and everything in between. If you are new, please consider subscribing and clicking that little bell notification down at the bottom. That just lets you know every time I upload a new video, and it lets me know that you like the content that I am putting out. We also have a blog, which is russellslovinglife.com. There, I give you tips and tricks and things that I have learned through my years of homeschooling. And if you're a returning Russell fam, we are so glad you are back. Okay, I know if you see mid-year, you're thinking, okay, it's February. How is it a mid-year review? Well, we pretty much homeschool year-round, but we start our new school year, the end of September, the beginning of October. So this is kind of our mid-year for us. So just to clarify that is why this is our mid-year. But for our 6th grade curriculum, I am using My Father's World. I am using the Exploration to 1850. And we are using Saxon Math. We are using Growing with Grammar. We are using Winning with Writing. We are using Soaring with Spelling. And I think that's all of it. But I will leave flip-throughs, do a lesson with us videos, all in the iCards up there. But I am going to turn around and show you some of this. I am loving the curriculum. I have no issues whatsoever. I did put a video out a while back talking about that My Father's World was not working for us. And it was not working for us because I have a 1st grader and a 6th grader. And their curriculums are designed to teach 2nd and 3rd grade up. So with there being a 5-year difference in my children, it's a little bit harder for me to use their curriculum. So what I have decided to do is I am just going to teach them 2 different curriculums. And if I can bring it together, if Bailey's curriculum kind of runs into Becca's curriculum on when we're talking about history or science or something like that, then we will do it together. We always do Bible together, so that's just a given. But I'm going to turn this around and show you what we are using for Bailey's 6th grade. All right, we just finished up week 12 of My Father's World Exploration to 1850. And I've done several flip throughs, but I just want to show you a quick glance at here if this is your first time. Sorry, that's our karate stuff. All right, if you have not seen much of My Father's World, I'm just going to show you real quick. All right, this is week 13. This is what we have coming up. And I don't use the spelling curriculum that they suggest or the English. You can check out My Father's World video that I have that why their language arts wasn't working for us. So I put that there just so I know for the next week. He just got done doing a math test. And so now he's going to switch and do an investigative. And so every day he does a math lesson, I write it down so I know what he's done. And then this is just for me to know that we are on grammar lesson 3.8 and we are on our writing lesson 12.1. So My Father's World lays it out for you. Here's your Bible, and it tells you your weekly review. You can pick which one that you're working on. We are doing 2 Bible verses a week instead of the 3 that's up here. And then it comes down here and it tells you that you're going to be using Story of the World, and that's the page number. Then it tells you here you're going to do your notebook summary. Then here is our science, and then our math and our reading. And then if you have the deluxe version, then you have this. Or if you have a foreign language, and I'm debating on which foreign language to use when he goes into 7th grade next year. So y'all leave me a comment below of some foreign language curriculums that y'all have used and that you like. But here it tells you the materials that you are going to need for the week. And then Monday, here are the questions that go along with science. And this is just teacher's notes. This isn't the notes for kids. There's just some more science questions to ask. This one really doesn't have much of the history going on this week in here, other than the reading that goes along with it. Sometimes they'll have some other things in there, like, let's see, last week was where we were talking about George Washington's world, and we were learning some things about that. So it's talking about notebooking down here, talking about a map that we did with Story of the World, and little things like that. So that is My Father's World, the teacher's guide. And I'll mark back in here or I will lose it. All right. And what goes along with My Father's World Exploration to 1850 is, I love this, Boy, Have I Got Problems. It is a devotional that we do, and it's focused on the book of James. And so that's Bible. And then In God We Trust is also part of the Bible curriculum for My Father's World. The history books that come along with My Father's World history is, sorry for the glare, Story of the World, Volume 3. We did Volume 2 last year and loved it. This is George Washington's World. We just started reading this one today. And then you have Building a City on a Hill, and Exploring American History, the second edition. And all of these go along with the history. And then the last 500 years. All right, and for their science, we have the World of Animals. We have Guide to God's Animals. And we also have Apologia's Botany, which I forgot to grab that book because we have not started that part of it yet. But we are doing Saxon Math. This is the test and worksheets book. We also have a thick book and an answer manual that comes along with that. And then this is our first year to use Winning with Writing. It's level 6. And I found it through our Growing with Grammar, which I love. Let me see if I can find something real quick. Just to kind of show you. Well, like here's a review. When we go to week or lesson 12, it'll be a review. Day 2, we're going to be reviewing. So we've already talked about this. So it's kind of like a spiral thing. You've learned it, you've talked about it, and you come back to it, kind of like Saxon Math. And the spiral approach is what works best for both of my children. It's the repetition. It's not the master it and move on type thing. They do not do well with that. And I was the same way. So their learning styles is exactly like mine was, so which is a great thing, and it helps me to know when they're struggling and when they're frustrated, and trying to find curriculums that I know would work for me when I was in school will work for them. So this is the spiral approach, and the Growing with Grammar is the same way, and so is the spelling, and I'll show you that. But it just kind of goes, now we've been talking about descriptive writing. I can't talk either. And here's just kind of a review of it. So I have more detailed videos if you want to look in my homeschool curriculum folders, but I just wanted to show you that Winning with Writing. Oops. And Growing with Grammar comes with a book and a workbook. So we'll open it to, let's find all right, 4.10. So here we are learning about adjectives, and then, yeah, this whole chapter 4, trying to look through the camera and look. Chapter 4 is all talking about different types of adjectives, suffixes that form adjectives and that type. And let me go to 4:11 over here in the workbook, just so you can kind of see. And Growing with Grammar is huge on diagramming sentences, which is one of the reasons I started using that, just because Bailey needed that more repetition. And the My Father's World did not really have that in-depth that I wanted for him. So here is, this is for 11, this is for 11, and so this is the worksheet that goes with it. And it also has a teacher's manual with answers to help you go through some of this. But I'm trying to teach Bailey to work more independently, so I will lay all of this out for him, and I will let him read everything. And if he has questions, then he comes to me and asks. With the math, I'm trying to do the same way, but the way the book teaches some of the math, it's a little easier for me to teach him the way I learned in school instead of trying to teach it in the book. And he is a visual learner like I am as well. So we have to physically see it, write it, and that's how we learn it. So there again, that's why I love the spiral approach that all of this goes through, and it works great for us. So that's the Growing with Grammar. And all of these are level 6 because he's in 6th grade. And sorry about that, Soaring with Spelling got stuck on something else. So I love the Soaring with Spelling because it's also vocabulary. And I love that it's written in cursive. We are fixing to start a cursive curriculum, and I'll let you know how that goes and show it to you when it comes in. We've done cursive in the past. Bailey is a lefty and I'm right-handed, so trying to teach cursive kind of got he got aggravated, I got aggravated, so I just put it down and said, you know what, we will revisit this later, and so we're going to revisit it later and go from there. But I love that it has it written in print and in cursive, because I think it's so important that kids know how to read it. If they can't write it, that's fine, but I really want kids to learn how to read cursive because so many of our historical documents are in cursive. So here's the first day. You review the words, you read over them, you read the definitions, and then you flip it over and you do a pretest. So I call the words out to him and he writes them down. And the ones he gets wrong, he writes them over here again. And if he missed words from like last week, then we can carry them over from his last week's test. Then you can write them here if you want to and carry them over. And it's just kind of the repetition thing. And then over here, it's putting in the words, filling in the sentences, kind of goes along with the meanings and definitions. And then there's alphabetical order, there's word searches. And then once you get to day 5 is when you have your spelling test. So that is our Soaring with Spelling. So I have not had any issues or any complaints with anything or any of these curriculums that we have been doing. So far, I'm loving them. Like I said earlier, the only thing that I really didn't like, but I love My Father's World, is that it was hard for me to teach Becca and Bailey at the same time, but that was just because they are on totally different grade levels. He's fixing to hit junior high, and she's just going to go into 2nd grade next year. So it may work for some families. It just wasn't working for us, and if it's not working, I'm not going to make it work. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope this mid-year review helps you to understand why I love these curriculums, why I'm using these curriculums. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I love to answer questions and love to hear from y'all. As always, remember to be kind, be careful, be considerate, and have a great day. Bye.